Oscar Dela Hoya, he came out and said that he's very frustrated with Ryan. He said, Haney will be a great fight to make. This is what Dela Hoya said. But when it comes to the Pacquiao situation, it was never on the table. Hopefully, sooner or later, we can talk some sense into him and get something done.
That's what they get. That's what Oscar get for weaseling with Devin and keep saying that what Devin needs to do and all this other shit, right? Because you were trying to make other fights. And then Ryan, both Ryan and T.O., did shit to their promoter, and then their promoter wants to come back and now look for Devin to clean them up. You know what I'm saying? Because they want him to get their ass whooped. They want T.O. to get his ass whooped, and they want Ryan to get his ass whooped, and they want Devin Haney to do it. You should have kept it straight and did straight business instead of trying to avoid what the people wanted to happen. You souped them fighters up, and then they got people in their ears, and then it went all bad. It went all bad for y'all. Now you're telling the truth. Yesterday you was lying. Now you're telling the truth. When we knew all along that these was the fights that the people wanted to see. And we already knew that Devin was in the position. He been knowing them kids. Each of them kids, they got history. So when you said that now they saying, oh yeah, well Devin Haney is good. Devin Haney is good. Yeah, I know he's good now.
That's right. That's right. Now he is saying, Oscar is pretty much pointing out that Ryan is Devin Haney mandatory, and instead he said that he pretty much went on Instagram, announced the Pacquiao fight when it was never on the table. Pretty much that's for Instagram. In other words, it's for clout. So what's your thoughts on
Pacquiao ain't on the table, Tank Davis ain't on the table, you know what I mean? And for the first time in history, you've seen a fighter fight a very talented, durable Luke Campbell, stop him in a title eliminator, right? To fight Devin Haney, right? The mandatory, to become the mandatory, and then he's looking all around, looking everywhere, but looking over there at Devin Haney. You see what I'm saying? This has never happened before, people. This never happened before, to my knowledge. You need to find somebody that fought a good fight, a good opponent in Luke Campbell, and then got the praise from the people, what a warrior he is. He got up off the ground. He fought a credible opponent. Guess what? We said, bring Jorge Linares, the fighter that beat Luke Campbell, the fighter that just set Lomachenko on his ass. Bring him to us. You see what I'm saying? And then you want to start switching it. You want to start saying, oh, well, he's this and he's that. Ryan Garcia and Jorge Linares is on the same side of the street. They're under the same company, under the same banner, on the same network. And Ryan Garcia didn't want Jorge Linares. He didn't want no parts of him. You see what I'm saying? So if he doesn't want to fight Devin, then we said bring Jorge Linares on. I see all value in all the guys. Devin is 22. Each fighter is going to bring out more of Devin's toolbox. But we're not playing with him, man. We're not playing with none of you jokers, man, at all. Devin going to smash you. Soon as y'all get in the ring, any one of you, the next time I promise, he's going to smash you in front of the world. I know what you're scared of. You're scared to get embarrassed, and that's just what's going to happen. Either he's going to knock you out, embarrass you, or both.
Well, another thing we never seen before is I never seen a fighter that's a mandatory to a pound-for-pound champion. Devin Haney, when he was Lomachenko mandatory, the champion gave up the belt. He surrendered a belt. And then Devin Haney, once he is champion, none of his mandatories wants to fight him, which has never been seen in the sport of boxing. And my man said, what's the point of a mandatory if it's not a mandatory? And that's what
one thing about the people, man, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you ain't gonna fool all the people all the time. You know what I'm saying? I told you, the rubber that met the road, they running out of excuses. And for that matter, Teofimo Lopez didn't want to give Lomachenko another shot, another rematch, even though the people was asking for it. He acting like that the people ain't asking for it, that they prefer Cambosos or whatever. So we said, guess what? Bring Lomachenko to us then. Since you ain't gonna fight, bring him to us then. You see what I'm saying? That's the way it goes. Now, if Lomachenko feels that he's sweet, then he's going to be all over the deal. He's going to be all over us like a cheap suit and ready to go to anywhere, ready to go out in the backyard if it means getting back on the table, because ain't nobody checking for him. Ryan Garcia ain't trying to fight him. Tank Davis ain't trying to fight him. Teofimo Lopez ain't trying to fight him. So what's the holdup?
Well, the holdup is Lomachenko's looking to fight Nakatani in July or August. What's your thoughts on him saying that I'll be ready in April or May to fight Devin, and now he's looking to fight Nakatani in July or August when he could fight Devin now and then fight Nakatani later? What's your thoughts on that?
He could have fought Devin. He took a year. It was a year. Matter of fact, I need to make sure. I need to make sure. I think it was a year from the time that he had fought to the time that he had fought Teofimo Lopez, which he could have fought Devin the whole year. That was the longest of inactivity that he ever had in the time that he's been a professional, is when Devin was his mandatory, right? And they say, well, he's not his mandatory. Well, he's the interim champion, right? Ryan Garcia is our mandatory. He's the interim champion. So why wasn't Devin your mandatory? Oh, he was never the mandatory. That's what the fans want to say. That's what the Lomachenko fans, the Teofimo fans want to say. He was never a mandatory. Devin was the interim champion, just like Ryan Garcia was the interim champion. When he decided to go to the franchise to get a franchise belt, which what do you need a franchise belt for, right? What the fuck do you need a franchise belt? You're the fucking WBC world champion, right? And you're going to make a undisputed. What do you need a franchise belt for? For what? Other than the fact of you have a mandatory in Devin Haney, and you have to do it in 6 months, because if you get a vacant title, you got to defend it in 6 months. If you beat a champion, you got a year. So he was going to have to defend, because Teofimo, they could not get the Richard Comey shit together, and they couldn't get the fight together within the 6 month time. So Bob, being the smart, intelligent Hall of Fame promoter that he is, always give credit to the matchmakers over there. First and foremost, Brad Jacobs and Bruce Trampler, who do a wonderful job at positioning their fighters to be great, right? They opted to go with the franchise tag. And then they camouflaged it as if he was going to be great. He was going to do some great things, but he took a year off. He took a year off to do it. And if we can put that kind of heat on Ryan Garcia for not taking it, then the same thing would apply to Devin Haney, becoming the interim champion. What do you become the interim champion for if you're not knocking on the door of the world champion? You're going to just sit there to be the interim champion? Just like with now. If Ryan Garcia wanted to fight Devin and he's the interim champion, who else would he fight? He would then become the world champion. That's where they start that email bullshit, right? The top-ranked staff and the top-ranked brass and Teofimo Lopez and all that started that email bullshit. Then when it came time for him with the 4 belts, he emailed before he even won the fight. Before he even got the fight, he sent the email over and said, if I should win, will I be a franchise champion? So soon as you get through parading around the corner, bring your ass back over here and let's get it on. Because where else do you go? Okay, you go to Cambosos. Now you come back out and said that you can call Mauricio, and Teofimo said he can call Mauricio and become the mandatory. You know what I'm saying? You could have did that the first time. You're talking about you can call him now, you can call him after. You could have been did that. I'm not talking about next. I'm not talking about 2 years from now. The only thing that we've ever did is one step at a time. And their machine is big enough that they can start this email shit, but they're the biggest email champions that petition to, instead of fighting, I think you petition to fight, not petition to not fight, right? So they're saying Devin is petitioning to fight Lomachenko, which makes him an email champion, but they're petitioning not to fight him, both Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez. So who's the real email champions? But these people, some people enjoy piss on top of their heads. They're pissing on your head and telling you it's rain. You acting like you enjoying it. You acting like it's really rain, because Devin was the same thing that Ryan Garcia is. Why didn't you give Lomachenko a hard time? It was the same exact process. And he, according to him, emailed Top Rank and asked to be a franchise champion and not fight.
How did you choose Lomachenko? Because
I did not choose him. He requested, Canelo requested. So we sent out a vote and we analyzed his history.
Ooh, Canelo and Lomachenko requested?
Absolutely.
Ooh, you just made headlines.
Lomachenko,
You just made headlines.
Lomachenko, Top Rank requested. And let me tell you, we analyzed the request. Top of the top.
Define the franchise belt. Can you define it?
The franchise is not a belt. It's not a championship. It's a designation given to elite, unique fighters who carry the industry of the sport of boxing. Canelo Alvarez and Lomachenko are two sensational fighters who
Said to me he's not really interested in the Haney fight. Yeah, I don't listen. He's
He
gonna.
doesn't excite me. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, but it's a massive fight.
But be honest right now. Has he fought anybody you say, damn, that's a good fight?
But let me tell you something.
I think he got
Devin
the
wants to
title
fight.
politically.
Devin wants to fight everybody,
That's great.
right?
I want to fight everybody,
Yeah,
but
what I'm
he
saying
didn't.
is-
That's the fact.
Yeah,
He
but
never did.
Yeah, and we do need a big fight, right? You haven't really had a big fight. You boxed Luke Campbell. It was a great win, right?
Thank you.
But I just feel that you and Devin is a super fight. It sells out the Staples Center. You make a fortune. But as I've said in every interview, if you get Tank or you get Pacquiao,
There it is.
I can't argue. If you don't, I think you should consider Devin Haney, personally, because I think it's a massive fight for massive money. And if you believe you can win,
Oh, I know.
yeah, but then you should take the fight. If you don't get those other fights. But I respect you
But
for
if
chasing.
I do get it,
Oh, I respect you. And
Okay.
I say 100%
Okay.
that was the right move for you.
There
But
it
if
is.
you don't, I would like you to consider Devin Haney.
okay, I will.
I got Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney. I mean, you see with Nakatani, Lopez had a little bit of trouble with that right hand over the top. I think Devin's even a little bit more craftier, obviously more craftier than Nakatani. I think Devin beats Teofimo. I think Teofimo has a great fight with Tank, but I still feel Tank beats him. I feel Devin beats Tank, and I beat Tank. I beat everybody.
Toughest challenge would be, I think, against Devin Haney.
On all the top lightweights, he makes the less money. You have the most followers, the most everything, but you make the less money. How does that make sense? How are you the money guy? He doesn't have a belt, and he makes the less money. They want to fight you. People want to fight him. With no disrespect, I like Ryan. Me and Ryan, we got a lot of history together, and I like him. But they want to fight you because they feel like you have followers, and you are the weakest link. That's what they feel. I'm not saying that it's true. We don't know who the weakest link is. We got to see. Everybody has to fight each other. But in reality, let's be real. Like, everybody needs to stop sugarcoating it, and let's be real. People want to fight him because they feel like he's the weakest link. Everybody wants to fight him because they feel like he has followers and he's the easiest fight. Let's be real. It's like a hidden secret, but nobody's trying to say it. It's the truth. That is the truth. That is why everybody wants to fight him.
It's just everything fell through because of certain things on Manny's end.
Ready? Just want to make it real clear. My fight with Pacquiao would not be an exhibition. It will be a real fight, shooting for 12 rounds, all on the line. Our record's on the line. Just want to make that very clear for everybody with confusion.